What is up, everybody? Steve here, live from the studio. I was supposed to be speaking with Lonnie Bedwell. Maybe we were going to chat a little bit about the current state of affairs, but he got busy. So I thought I'd revisit the smart home technology because James Sadecki, I think that's how you pronounce your last name, James, or Jim. It's been a while. But I thought I would elaborate on, add to what I said a few weeks ago regarding smart home technology, and how it can affect the blind and visually impaired. So back in 2018, I had a home built, and the home was absolutely designed in such a way to be accessible for many different types of so-called disabilities. Don't diss my ability. And so, it's got wide hallways, thresholds, flat, there's no thresholds. It's just completely flat. And that's specifically for, wheelchair operation and movement. I could have had roll unders, but I'm not in a wheelchair, so there's no roll under, like under the cab, under the sink or in the bathroom or the kitchen, etc. The organization Homes for Our Troops built the home, and they did a great job. Maves Construction was the contractor, and they're here locally where I live. So a bunch of cameras by Ring, the company Ring, which is owned by Amazon, if I'm not mistaken, were put in, like a doorbell camera and a number of cameras on the exterior of the building, of the home, that were pointed in different directions, different parts of the yard. Of course, two thermostats. There's two thermostats in the home, both newer thermostats that are more touchscreen, but have the capability of communicating to your phone through your wireless network. What else? The locks on all the exterior doors are I'm forgetting, it's escaping me, the brand, but this is not, so I didn't want to be specific about models and brands necessarily. I want
CPU overload
aware what's going on, all this technology that's on the house, in the house, keeps me, more aware. And so I think one of the big things are the camera systems. These cameras point out in the yard, and they have infrared sensors that can, they're floodlights. So they have these infrared sensors that pick up movement, motion, and will kick on the lights at night. And so, that's helpful. It's great. If you're walking around, or people are walking around in the yard or something, they have some light if the lights are not already on, exterior lights are not already on. The cameras have like a night vision capability. I'm not sure how great it is. They also have sirens built into each one of them that can be manually triggered, as well as a speaker intercom kind of system. So you can actually speak to people. So if you had a camera, let's say in the northeast yard, and there was motion there and they were fairly close to the camera, you could literally speak to the person through the camera system, through your iPhone or smartphone, Android, whatever you have, by using the Ring application. So that comes in handy. If you're not home, of course, you can speak to someone. I mean, this is not really new. A lot of people have these cameras now. What is great about the cameras, the optical sensors, is the ability to designate certain parts of the perspective of, the camera's perspective, like zones. So you can detect motion in specific zones. A sighted person would configure it for you, and give you the ability to designate certain zones in the direction that the camera is pointed. So I have, one in the driveway, and you don't want it always going off. So, you clip off the street, the main street movement. You don't want, other cars and other things going by triggering the motion sensor or camera all the time, because you can basically configure in your Ring application how you are alerted. And so I have my driveway camera set to alert me when motion is detected in the driveway. And this is great if people are telling me they're coming over and they're going to be here at 5:30 p.m. And I hear the motion go off in the driveway around 5:25. Well, I realize that they're here, and so I can start moving towards the door and making my way outside. And usually the case is it's my friend or family. Sometimes it's something else. It's a bug or insect that went across the camera. But so you can think of all kinds of ideas and I guess ways to use the camera and those functions to help you as a blind person. Another neat feature is you can give access to the cameras, whatever cameras you want. You can specifically assign cameras to a user, a guest user, like my family and some other people have control over my Ring system, or at least they have the ability to just view or preview the footage and tap into the cameras and talk to people and literally see live views of the yard. And that comes in handy if you live alone or you want your home monitored, not only by yourself or, by your friends or your family, whoever you give access to, your Ring system. And again, you can specifically only give access, to certain things, depending on, how you want to customize the application. So, I come home and I also integrated, I guess when I say come home, I'm trying to like flow, through the driveway into my home and kind of make sense, explain how, these sensors and this technology is assisting me in my everyday living, and could maybe benefit you, whether you're sighted or blind. And so the garage door is a mainstream garage door system, and it is linked or bridged through a little smart, like this module that you buy, and it communicates to it and it communicates to your wireless router. And this gives you the ability to use like HomePod, HomeKit, which is Apple's smart home technology application. And so I can basically ask Siri to open my garage, the main garage bay door. I don't have to punch in a key necessarily, keypad, and I can do that around the world, from anywhere. So if I wanted to let someone in quickly, I could let them in through the garage, main garage bay door. I get notifications whenever it's opened or closed. I also have a contact sensor on the door. So I get a third party a notification on a separate platform, from the platform I just was speaking about. And that really just the contact sensor is just when the sensors touch, then I know the door's closed. And when the sensors, when you break contact with the other part of the sensor, you basically get a notification that it's open. And so, that can be useful again for different things, for different people. Each exterior door has a keypad, a tactile keypad, a keypad you can touch and feel all the buttons. I went from that to, there was a Bluetooth style like a keypad system that I had that wasn't working so great. So I swapped them out for this tactile keypad, and these have been working very smoothly. They automatically lock. They keep track of, who enters or unlocks them depending on which pin is used. I can assign pins like guest pins, temporary pins, full access to the house. When you put the pin in, the 4-digit pin, it can arm the home and disarm the home. So it disarms the alarm system, and it arms the alarm system when you enter and exit the home, and you put in you push in or punch in your PIN number. But not only that, from the Ring application, and this is not a Ring product. This is a separate company that makes these door locks, and I'll try to look them up and put them in the description. But the door locks communicate to the Ring application, and so basically you can unlock and lock the doors from the Ring application. You can even speak to your smart home speakers, like if you have an Amazon Alexa, Echo Dot speaker, and that you can set it up so that your voice can unlock the doors if you wish to do so. You don't have to. I mean, that's just another option if you have smart home speakers in your home. I have a few inside, internal cameras on the inside of the home, but they're mobile. I can put them outside. I can put them wherever. I strategically place them near the utility or machine room. So if I have a service man or woman, someone that services the air conditioning or the, water heater or whatever. And because, I could be absent, I could be gone from home, and I would like someone to come in and check some things. Excuse me. And so these cameras are strategically positioned to see that region of the door and any movement that may take place in that location of the home. So, that's again a great thing if you're absent from your home a lot, or if you have a rental. Like imagine if you had a rental and you wanted to take advantage of all this technology. In the utility room, you can have sensors underneath the water heater. You can have sensors that measure the temperature of the air. You could have smoke and CO or carbon monoxide detectors that are triggered too, that alert you on your phone. So all of these things can be, I think, integrated into a rental or your personal home or both to help you babysit or monitor what's going on in your house. And of course, all of this is beneficial for people with disabilities or blindness, because it just gives you more access to things that I would not have the capability of without sighted assistance. And just if I want a touch more safety or security. There's motion sensors in every room and contact sensors on every window and door. All these sensors give me the ability to monitor when things open and close or when there's movement in the specific rooms. Everything is named. So you could use a contact sensor on a weapon safe or a drawer. So if you wanted to know if a drawer was opened or closed, at what time and what date, and you can name it whatever you want, like I said. Those, again, just can give you an idea if you're listening, if you're blind or visually impaired. That's so beneficial for different reasons. And whether you're blind or sighted, it doesn't matter. So if someone enters the west door, walks through a room, walks through another room, opens another door, all that is captured and can be, retrieved from a historical, page in the application. and it gives you a breakdown of the time, the date. Even if, like I said, if the person has a temporary pen and you've named it, it'll say the name of the person if you've named it, the person's name. The thermostat is great. I mean, as a blind individual, having the ability to customize all of the controls on your thermostat, setting up, if you're away, if there's motion in the home, and at night or during the day, if you want the house to run in an economic way, you can program all this, and you don't require sighted assistance. It's a Honeywell thermostat that I'm using, but I'm sure there's a lot more out there that are very useful, and so check them out. The smart home speakers, like the Echo Dot speakers and the range of Amazon speakers that exist, that kind of work in conjunction with the Ring alarm system. Because again, Ring is owned by Amazon now. For those of you who did not know that, I could be incorrect. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that I'm accurate. And so all these speakers, also Amazon, I think, and Ring have been researching different ways to use the speakers or microphones to detect breaking glass, as well as if a conventional fire alarm, smoke detector, or carbon monoxide detector goes off, whether you're home or not. So when you put the alarm system in away mode and you leave your home, you've left your home, you arm the home, these speakers listen in, supposedly, in every room. They've been engaged, more or less, triggered by the away mode status. So when you put arm your home in away mode, these speakers they become armed and they start listening. And if someone breaks the glass, not only does the motion sensor in the room detect the motion, but the speakers hear the damaged glass and or the smoke detector and so on. And I think you can configure them to, if they don't already automatically do it, they contact emergency services. So the police or the fire department. And of course, they should respond, you would hope. What else? Deep in the HomeKit system, like for the Apple side of things, because I have Apple Home, HomePod speakers, and I have Amazon Echo Dot speakers. The HomePod acts as the brain for, the Apple HomePod acts as the brain for the house, more or less. You just have to have one, either a computer, I think a HomePod, or an iPad to act as the brain or of the house. And within the HomeKit application, you are able to do program all kinds of automation. So it can use geospatial information to detect where your iPhone is. And as you approach your house, you can have a sequence or set sequence of things that happen. You could, I don't have it set up like this, but you could have, if it's nighttime and you're driving home and you want certain lights in the driveway, you have 5 different styles of lights, along the perimeter of the driveway, out on the, end of the driveway, on the house. Basically, those lights could kick on. The garage door could open. The garage bay light could kick on. All the lighting to your kitchen or through your main hallway that connects to the garage, they could all come on. All of that could be automated. It could be automated in so many different ways. It could be geospatial, like I was mentioning. It could, like a geofence, more or less. You set up a fence, this imaginary digital fence that detects when you cross the threshold, like you're a quarter mile away from the home or something, or less than that, or right on your home, it detects that you're there because, you have a GPS receiver, cellular receiver in your phone, an antenna, and all this programming, all these crazy things. It's magic that are going on to allow the lights to kick on and all these sensors to work. I think you can even assign cameras to record, or not record. You can. I mean, if you can program, you can do anything with these pieces of technology. And the future's, whether you like this or not. I'm a little geeky, little techie. I can shut that off and go climb mountains. And enjoy being in the middle of nowhere too. But I like to leverage tools, technology that exists. I'm trying to help the blind and visually impaired community better understand how you can use this technology. And it has a long way to go to become more accessible. But once the stuff is installed and set up in your home by a sighted person and a service individual, it's pretty easy to keep stable and use, on your own independently. All the lights in the house, and exhaust fans and stuff like that are also communicating, excuse me, to a brain that is communicating to the HomePod and to Amazon Alexa, and so all of that gives you the ability to automate the lights or just to control the lights via your voice or through an application on your phone, or when a door opens or swings open, or when motion is detected, lights can come on, they can go off. If you have a guest bathroom and you hate it when the guests come over and they take a really hot shower and they don't turn the exhaust fan on, well, and because you have a separate switch for the exhaust fan, it's all the way at the end, no one ever pushes it, or you don't even consider it, you don't care. Well, whether or not you can automate that switch to kick on when someone turns on the first switch, the light switch. So if they touch the light switch, like the powder light, the lights, the vanity lights, when they turn that on, it doesn't turn on the exhaust fan. Well, you could automate it. You could make it like, you could make that switch turn on the kitchen light switch. It could be you could really have fun with people and and mess with them. But that's the smart home, the irrigation system, the sprinkler system, like programming the different zones, turning the system on and off. They're building computer chips and technology into these systems, the pumps and the actual module, the brain of the irrigation system. They're building all the technology into it so that it can communicate to, again, your wireless router and specifically an application that allows you to manage and control the device. So I hope that when I share this with Jim or James, I've answered some of his questions. I know that he's looking for exact models, and maybe some of you are looking for that. For anybody that doesn't understand, accessible technology or access tech, and just as fast as software is changing for all of you sighted people, like the GUI, the graphical user interface, what you look at, like, Microsoft Word or whatever, Google, how quick it can change. Well, when that changes, a lot of times you lose functionality as a blind person. You lose the capability of using the software. It's very frustrating because a lot of times companies don't build this accessibility into their revisions and their changes and their updates. Honestly, I want to do a whole nother podcast talking about how Avid, which is a company that manufactures or produces Pro Tools, which is a digital audio workstation for music production and audio recording. They've taken VoiceOver, which is a screen reader, which is the technology that we use as a blind person to use the phone. They got really clever with how they considered VoiceOver. They considered Apple VoiceOver like a language. And, they produced this software program for not only U.S. citizens, but all kinds of other foreign countries or foreign languages. And so, when they do all their programming for the different things that are in the program, it's also tailored for all these different foreign people and languages. And so they just consider VoiceOver basically a language. And so whenever they're doing their updates, we don't lose accessibility, really. It is maintained. And why can't many more companies out there follow suit, do the same thing? Anyway, that's my rant. That's my, I guess, extended version, of smart home technology. I just thought that I would basically go over this again a little bit more thoroughly and provide people out there that really maybe need some information or want some ideas about what they can do in their home. And so if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. It's steve@baskis360.com. Check out the podcast at baskis360.com. Look up the Baskis 360 YouTube channel, subscribe, like, whatever the heck you want to do. But I hope that everybody's doing well in these strange times. This is Steve signing out.